Team, what's up? What's up? So, welcome back. This is another video in the cold prospecting tour, right? Everything that we're doing to actually get you better at your product offer or service and actually propelling it into a cold market, right? So, individuals that have no idea who you are, what you do, what you bring, how you deliver it, what ways you fulfill it, what promises you can make, what social proof you have, and actually having a conversation with them and actually getting them inside of your business, right? So, from completely cold dead strangers to them wanting to give you some version of money, time, exchange value, whatever it is that you've actually made an agreement on that your product offer or service can benefit from, however that works. So we've gone through a lot of the principles, right? A lot of the steps inside of this and what this actually looks like, all in theory up until now. And right now, we've kind of reached the point where you need to start understanding what it's going to look like when you're getting on a real call. And this is where it gets a little dicey, right? Because up until now, you're going to look at the videos, you're going to watch the videos, all the videos that I have out about mental headspace and where your mind's at and the things you need to focus on, the things you need to keep away from, the negativity you need to keep out, the positivity that you have to reinforce. But at the end of the day, once you're inside of a sales call, for the beginning part of it at least, all of that is going to go to shit. I'm just going to be real. All of it's going to go to shit. This is why I wanted to do a video entitled The First Steps in a Real Sales Call. Why? Because I learned this a long time ago, and I want to give this. This is a huge hack for any individual that's looking to get inside a cold calling, appointment setting, or just any kind of conversation, high ticket closing, discovery calls, just product positionings, demos, whatever. When you practice something in your head and you use that internal voice inside your head that we all have and that we all listen to from one time or another, you're going to sound perfect. Right? In your head, you're going to sound perfect. It's going to come fluid. It's going to come practice. It's just going to come smooth. Why does it actually come out different when it's in real life? It's the same reason your voice sounds different when you record it. Let that sink in for a second. The same reason your voice sounds different in a recording is the same reason that the voice inside your head sounds different when you say it out loud, right? When you're in your head, right, your muscles in your mouth don't need to move in the same way because it's just coming from a place, right? It's weird how that works, but the second your script has to get said out loud and then said under pressure, said under stress, said under a flex of tonalities, all of a sudden the words that you've been practicing for so long inside of your head don't actually sound like anything, right? You start to realize like this actually sucks. Like when I say it out loud after I've really sat on it and I'm using it inside of a call, I'm gonna be like, damn, like this can go, this can go, this can go, this can go. Every time that you practice when it comes to cold calling, you need to practice out loud. The reason you need to practice out loud is because you need to see how the fluid movements of your own mouth, right, of your jaw, of your teeth, of your tongue, how they're actually going to spit out the words to make it fluid. So when somebody's listening to you, you sound clear, concise, professional, and coherent, right? If you're inside of your own head, right, all those things are naturally going to sound that way because there's no resistance, right? Your mouth moves in certain ways. I don't even know the amount of the muscles in your mouth that are actually determining how certain things sound, why people don't sound the same, the position of your teeth, like all of this stuff actually matters. And you have to learn how to actually say it, right? And you want to make sure that if we're moving towards efficiency, if we're moving towards practical application, you want to make sure that you're actually saying things in a way that are best to be heard, right? And this is why efficiency is so important. So you need to review your script and start saying it out loud. Say it not only out loud, but say it in different ways. So like, if we're going to go, right, I'm just going to use the Thomas Gannett one as an example, right? So this is a cold call. I have something to offer your business. Do you want to give me 30 seconds or do you want to hang up on me now? Right? In my head, that might sound smooth, clear, and under control. But when I get on a call, I might sound like shaky. I could sound timid. I could sound afraid. I could sound under stress. You could hear the panic in my voice. You could hear the tremor in my voice. Everything starts to change. Like, hi, this is Danny. This is a cold call. I have something to offer your business. Would you like to hear me out? Give me 30 seconds, or you can hang up on me right now. Like somebody like that, nobody's going to want to actually provide the attention to because you're not even confident in yourself enough to ask for 30 seconds, right? And again, it becomes what happens after that 30 seconds is done. But this is just the opening statement, right? You want to make sure that you have your opening statement so practiced and ready to go and ready to rip that you sound awesome and coherent while you do it. Right? Like, hey, this is Danny. I'm calling for whatever, XYZ company. I do have something to offer your business. If you want to give me 30 seconds or hang up on me now, I'd love to have a conversation with you, right? Mix it up. You find different ways to say things, right? Like, hey, this is Danny. I'm calling from XYZ business. Do you want to give me 30 seconds? This is a cold call, or you can hang up on me right now. Or we can mix it up again. Hey, this is Danny from XYZ Business. I just want to let you know this is a cold call. I do have something to offer your business. Would you like to give me 30 seconds or would you like to hang up right now? Think about it. There's all different ways here. I'm saying the same thing, right? Where I'm putting the stress on the tonalities, right? How I'm framing the question. I'm saying the same thing in every single time. Like the same words are being used, but just a different order. And which one sounds right for me might not sound right for another individual that's out there, right? This is why it's important to practice, right? Who you are, where you're calling from, and what your ask is. It's very important. If you want to simplify it to that point, like I'm not saying go out there and steal this kid's script, right? Like he's already got enough videos and enough people have honestly stolen it to the point where it's probably destroyed, right? There's probably some other variant of it that he hasn't even told the world because the second he had a certain amount of thousand views, that script became useless. But I want to showcase it's a very easy script. It's a good starter script. He did it because it's a good starter script because the companies that he was calling on, there was a high likelihood that he was going to get an owner, right? He was calling med spas, right? Med spas that were independent, right? He wasn't going to get companies with 50,000 people that work at them or companies with 12,000 people or companies with 1,200 people. In most cases, you got companies that had 1 to 6 people working at it. So chances of you getting the owner or operator is actually not that bad, right? You might have to change it up for somebody else. But the point of the matter is, and the fact of the matter is, you have to get really good at your scripts, and you should have a volley of scripts. You shouldn't just have one; you should have at least 3, right? But when you go through it, right, when you start to recite the things that need to be said, you have to know how it goes, and don't just recite the opening line. Once you feel like you have the opening line, go a little bit further, right? You need to practice what you're saying. You need to practice what your offer is, right? You need to practice how to get through objections. And again, we're going to get through objections. We're going to get to the point where we actually showcase like what that's like to agree, disarm, and kind of get back into rapport. But you need to know what your voice is going to sound like. And that sounds crazy because you're like, dude, Danny, like I know exactly what my voice sounds like. Like, no, you don't. You think you know what your voice sounds like until you're on a call with a complete stranger who has nothing but disdain for the fact that you called on them to try to sell them something for their business, right? The fact that you even want to help them, you have audacity, right? You are the world's biggest piece of trash for trying to help somebody inside of their business, right? Because that's going to be the stressor that you're under. That's the pressure that you're actually going to face. You have to man up and actually look at that or woman up or whatever. But you have to get to the point where you actually can comprehend that there's going to be severe pushback coming in your direction. And if you don't have control of what your voice is going to sound like inside of those first few seconds where you're absolutely critically trying to make this connection, it's all going to fall apart. They're going to bang the phone on you. They're going to tell you they're not interested. They're going to tell you in a meeting. They're going to tell you that the person's not here. They're going to tell you they're not interested. They're going to tell you they're working with somebody already. They're going to tell you they're working with anybody else. They're going to tell you that I listened to a call the other day. The person was like, we don't even have a sales team. And it's like, my man, like I didn't make the call. I reviewed the call, but like in the conversation, I was like, clearly, if we scrape the lead, right, for people that have active sales teams, like you have an active sales team, right? Like it was a blatant, complete, and utter lie. But like that's the point. Like that's what's going to come out. And this is real life, right? Like there's so many people online that say that like once you get into this, it's actually going to get really easy. Let's be real. It's not actually easy. The thing that makes it easy is how practiced you are at what you're doing to make sure that whenever people present something to you in the form of an objection or a disagreement or a problem or a concern, you can navigate through it and it doesn't actually mean anything to you. That when somebody says no directly to your face through that phone, it doesn't actually hurt your insides. You've built up this leather skin, and you're only going to be able to do that if you get control of your voice. Because the second the oohs, ums, the stutters, and the pauses start, right, that's their opportunity to eat you alive because you weren't ready to make that call. You 100% were not ready to make that call, right? So make sure that you practice this out loud. Do not do this inside of your own head. The second you do this inside of your own head, and you just have to go live with the client for the first time to actually recite a script that you've never actually spoken out loud before, I promise you it's going to get really dicey really fast, and you're going to fall apart, and you're going to fold, and that call is going to be wasted. Practice to yourself. Listen to what your words sound like. Listen to the way they flow out of your mouth. Are there any points inside of the script that you're getting jumbled up that you can't actually get the words out, right? And sooner or later, understand the script to the point that it's second nature to you, right? You understand the guidances of the script. You understand what the script can do. You understand what the script can offer. And that's how you utilize the script. But you have to know what it sounds like in the real world. Don't just think about what it sounds like inside of your head.